It was a narrow win for Benfica, but we're through to the next round of the Portuguese Cup. We'll play Minos in the Portuguese Cup. Will give us a good chance to finally get to the Jamor. But then we're back in action today and very, very wasteful. We couldn't take advantage of the game and being a man up against Barcelona. And we wasted a lot of opportunities. We got that and much more. Another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero um manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio e assustar-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças, here with another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica podcast. Welcome all the Freddies. I know you guys are going to be joining us, but also with us, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. What's up, Cristiano?
What's up, Alfredo?
Epa, foda-se. Put some energy, man. Some energy into you, man.
Full disclaimer right up front.
Full disclaimer.
Today's one of those nights that I wish you were talking pulp neck instead of me being here, bro. There's just some times where you're like, man, could Alfredo flop pulp neck and leave me out of it? But here we are again. And I'm pretty sure I'll get excited in a few minutes when I start throwing darts all over the place. But welcome to all the Freddies, gentlemen, gentle ladies. Smash the like button and strap on. It's gonna be a good one. Strap on your seatbelt. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Strap on your seatbelt, and it's gonna be a good one.
The other Oliveira, the one that's very angry at Trump, Dave the Oliveira. What's happening, Dave?
Oh God, that's a separate podcast we can get into. But Chris has as much energy as Cox, who did in today's match there. So.
I thought you were going to talk about after he scored that penalty a couple games ago.
No, tonight it was even worse. It was even worse. There was no smiles, no energy from that guy. I already
Dave, we'll get into that game in a little while. But Dave, you don't understand. You won't guess. You won't imagine how many times I went to Twitter. And I wrote, somebody should tell Koksu that he needs to pass the ball to the guys in the red shirts, not the black. But then I deleted it, and then I retweeted. Then like Koksu, you could pass the ball to your own team, and then I just kept giving up. But yeah, I was so frustrated. We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah,
I think he thought
geez, you
he was
positive
playing for the wrong
Cristiano then watching that game. If you had to delete those tweets multiple,
he tried
multiple
Dave.
times.
Yeah, I did it. At least I just didn't want to be critical. I said. We'll get into that in a second. But smash the like buttons, Dave. Did you smash the like button yet?
I'm going to smash it right now.
Smash
Good
it,
job.
Dave.
Good
Smash
job,
it.
Dave.
Yeah, welcome all the Freddies. Logan Muniz, Melo, Jason Gaidola, Ricardo Teixeira, Manuel da Cunha, Cristiano Oliveira, DJ Natural Fire, and whoever else is going to join us.
DJ Natural El Chilo. He's on fire today.
Yeah.
Viva 10 man.
Welcome all the Freddies, and thank you for checking us out. People that are going to listen to us a little later. Our friends at Pama Media, of course. Anyway, we got a great show for you tonight. We got a win and we got a loss, both for the same results. We got the Taça de Portugal Braga game that happened
last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday, yeah.
Last
so a week ago. We did not play over the weekend because we Benfica and Gil Vicente agreed to delay that game, and obviously there was questions, but let's we'll talk about that in a little bit. And we got
reschedule,
postponed. And we got Barca game which we'll recap, and we'll look ahead to Nacional later. Very clear, Nacional da Madeira, not Nacional from Açores. At Estádio Luz this weekend. Anyway, let's start with the Braga game. Portuguese Cup round of 8. Trubin was in goal, Silva, Otamendi, Carreras, Araújo, Dal, Austin Koksu, Artur Koglu, Bruma, and Pavlidis up front. Good game. Good start of the game by Benfica. Pressing, determined, much better than Braga. And this was all in the first half. And even though Benfica was a bit wasteful in the first half, we would end up getting on a scoreboard with from a Pavlidis goal, 1-0, off of a Dal assist. That came off of a Braga turnover. A little bit similar to perhaps what we saw today against Barcelona. But we were off to the races, and I thought that Benfica was going to do a lot better against Braga. Really poor Braga in this first half. Second half was not that much difference. A game that Benfica never looked in danger of losing or even tying, even though there was some questionable calls. There was the call or non-call on Antonio Silva, pulled up the Braga player, and to me, if that's a Benfica player, I'm calling that a penalty every time. But we got away with one. A few substitutions: Belotti, Barreiro, Sheldrup, Amdouni, João Rego all came in the second half. And like I said, Braga was never really had the weapons to bother Benfica. But I just wish that Benfica could put balls away so we could watch a game in peace and relax for once, always at the edge of our seats. Anyway, I won't bore you a lot more with this Braga game since it was last Wednesday. But the point is that we're through to the next round of the Portuguese Cup. We play Feirense, Dave? Wait, Tirsense.
No, it's Tirsense.
Tirsense. And Tirsense is what, third flight, Dave? Fourth flight.
Tier.
Yeah, so Tirsense played Welves, both teams from the fourth tier, and Tirsense got the best of Welves. And now they're going to be playing against Benfica over 2 legs. One of them are being decided to lose, of course. I think they might have already picked the field where they're going to play at, Dave. I'm not.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Boa Vista Stadium.
The Boa Vista Stadium, yeah. The Tirsense is from up north. But yeah, that's really. I think you look at this game, and I don't know if you guys have much more to add. It was always games against Braga could always be a little tricky, especially when there's heavy rotation. I like the fact that, and I mentioned something like this on another show, and I don't know if I mentioned this already here, was the fact that the 3 guys that Benfica picked up, or the 4 guys that Benfica picked up over the winter break, ended up, whether by luck or not, because of the rotating players and players injured, are players that have come in and made an impact. I talk about Dal is probably the biggest one. Bruma right behind him. Belotti is yet to really put a stamp on it, even though he's already scored. Yeah. But yeah, we don't see that too often when guys are picked up in a winter transfer window and can make an impact. So I'm kindly enjoying that, and I guess in a way, Cristiano, we have to praise the club because we've picked up a lot of garbage and we've spent a lot of money on garbage, and they really haven't made an impact as these players have.
Yeah, facts, without a shadow of a doubt. We criticize them and we praise them when we need to, and I think this transfer window with the 4 players that came in, obviously one of them being Manu, unfortunately, the one that had us most excited. Picked up a knee injury and he's out for the rest of the year. But yeah, I think every player, as you mentioned, has contributed. And it's good to see these guys get an opportunity and play and add to the club, because that's the reason why we went and picked them up.
Yeah.
To be able to help us out down the stretch here. And that's exactly what they've done. I think the Braga game a week ago was what's going to be a common theme here on the podcast today. It's just another one of those performances where the results don't really give you a clear picture of what the game was. It should have been a game that Benfica should have been going into the halftime with a real comfortable lead, and instead it's just desperdício after desperdício. We have not been able to put the ball in the back of the net. it gets frustrating, and we often say on here, right? Someday it's going to cost you. Someday it's going to cost you, and it has. Fortunately, against Braga, it did not. But it was a good performance by the club, as you said. Plenty of new faces in the lineup, giving breathers to some of the key guys, bringing in some guys with less minutes played throughout the season, having these guys make a huge impact, and it's good to get to this stage, the semifinals of the Taça Portugal, as we all know too well. Unfortunately, we've only won 4 in the last 30 years. It's a huge competition, an important competition that Benfica should be striving to win on a year-to-year basis, and hopefully, this year they get there. They're a step closer. But yeah, it's good to see the boys play to that level, create opportunities because we want to see opportunities. But now we have to take it to the next step, to the next level, which is start finishing some of these opportunities to
Yep.
get a breather and give guys a chance to relax and bring in some more youngsters into the lineup.
Yeah, and Samu was actually in goal. I got that wrong. I wrote down Trubin. I don't know why, but Samu was in goal. Sorry about that. Dave.
You could tell Dave and I were paying attention.
Dave, do you have stats on this game?
No, just the team that we're playing. We're going to be playing against here in the semifinals.
Yeah.
Fourth tier team that's never beaten us in our history here. We've played them actually a couple of times, 22 times here, but we've always had the better results of them. So we'll get more into that preview when that comes time in April. But
in April is when we play the first leg, and then I think there's
April
there's a gap
2nd, I believe,
between the first leg and the
and
second.
By the way, let me jump in real quick. I think it is absolutely how do I put this in a kind way? Stupid that that you have to play a two-leg second half in the Taça Portugal. I think it is absolutely dumb. I can't believe these guys made that decision. We all know why. At least I think I know why. Because it favors the big teams. Because other than that, it makes absolutely no sense. For this to be happening. Just wanted to throw out there.
Big teams and TV.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's about TV. I don't even think it's about TV. I think it's about big teams, man. They want the big teams in these competitions and in the finals of these competitions. And if since look, we saw it years ago. If you guys recall, I know some of you Freddies absolutely will, and guys listening into this. A few years back, Alcorcon surprised the great Real Madrid in the first game and shocked. It was like it sent shockwaves around the world. And the next game, leg number 2, I think Real Madrid beat them like 5 or 6-0, 4-4, whatever it was. But it was a very comfortable win the next game. And if you didn't have this two-legged thing, you just have Alcorcon making a historic run to a final. And the same thing could happen here. If Defensa beats Benfica the first game, catch Benfica napping or whatever it is, gets a lucky bounce, gets an Antonio Silva pass to the back. Oh, shit, that's another. But if they get a lucky bounce or whatever, they could find themselves in a final. If you know, the final, they could find themselves in a very comfortable spot. Instead, they're gonna have to play Benfica second leg, and odds are Benfica will probably turn that around. I don't like it. I think in the spirit of the competition, in the spirit of the Taça Portugal, it should be one leg. And listen, if you get lucky on that day, you get lucky on that day. It is what it is.
It's the magic of the cup, right? Where it's a one game affair. I think what is the competition in England that if they tie they play a second leg, but only if they tie?
I think that's the
FA Cup,
the Carabao, the Carabao, whatever the hell it's called.
FA too. If they do a replay if they tie, they don't even go to extra
penalties. Penalties extra. They just play another game.
Yeah, I mean as congested as the fixtures have been this year, I think the league should abandon that. I know that. Really, at the end of the day, they're hoping that the big 4 clubs are facing each other in a semifinal, so you get 4 games that could be appealing to the masses or appealing to the viewers. But I mean, you got Sporting and I don't even know Sporting.
Rio Ave on the other side.
Sporting and Rio Ave on the other side, and you got Benfica and Tirsense on this side. 2 games, Benfica and Tirsense. Those are going to be two Borefests. ask me. But like I said, it's just another step in the way for us to get to the Jamor, which is always nice. But anyway, on to the next.
Jason
Go ahead.
Gaidola saying the FA Cup have replays only in the early rounds.
Oh,
Just to
okay.
clarify that.
Okay. Benfica didn't play over the weekend. The game was against Gil Vicente was postponed, and the reason for that, and there was a lot of people saying, Benfica needed, the rest and the league. No, this was something that was agreed between the two clubs, and let me situate you guys here. Gil Vicente had just played with Sporting for the Portuguese Cup on Wednesday, finished the game almost Thursday. Benfica, obviously, because Benfica needed to play on Wednesday, the earliest they wanted to play their game was Saturday. Obviously, that was out of the question for Gil Vicente, and Gil Vicente wanted to play Monday because they wanted to get the same rest as Sporting, obviously, to play Benfica. Benfica couldn't play Monday because they had the Champions League on Wednesday, so both teams agreed to postpone the game. And when it's like that, I think the league, both teams present the case to the league. They said, we've agreed on this. And at that point, I don't think the league can say anything if both clubs have agreed. At least that's how I understand the rules. So if there's any of your friends were lagartos saying that, how come the Benfica gets extra rest? That's the reason why. It has nothing to do with Benfica getting extra rest to play Barcelona or Benfica asking for the game to be delayed. It was just a conjuncture of things that came together that didn't allow to take the game to take place. So respecting Gil Vicente, respecting Benfica, both teams agreed to postpone their game, which Dave, I think it comes on international break. I think that game did they reschedule that game?
It's at the end of this month here. Let me get.
And
the
that's right.
exact
Is that
dates.
right before the national break or?
That I am not sure of, but it's showing here as March 28th is the game.
Okay. So hopefully, or well, not hopefully, but I think that Benfica may be out of the Champions League by then. So we'll just have to keep our eyes on. What, Cristiano, you're hopeful?
No, you said hopefully they'll be out of the Champions League by then.
Are you hopeful that they'll stay in the Champions League?
We still got to talk about that game in a second, but before that, I wanted to just say that it's, again, another stupid decision by the league, asinine, that this has to come down to the two teams. I think the league should step in, understanding that one of their teams playing in a competition such as the Champions League should prioritize that, and the league should intervene and say, look, guys, let's work this out, as opposed to leaving it up to the two teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next year, for example, if Porto is in a situation, as Vicente says, no, we don't want to postpone the game, and then you know how it is, Portuguese football, fingers being pointed in every direction, and accusations of this and that. So I think in order to stop all that from percolating, I think the league should just step in themselves and say, guys, this is what's best interest of the league. It's best for our teams to go through and advance as further as they can in the competition. Everybody gets compensated really well. The coefficient, it benefits the whole league. It benefits every team in the league. So listen, this is what we've come. This is what we put together, and I think it will just make things a lot easier for everyone involved.
I agree. And there's plenty of times that the league should be stepping in and should really be taking control, but they kind of leave it up to the clubs to figure out. And then when you let the clubs figure out, there's always clubismo that gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is the same league that releases schedules like 1 week or 10 days in advance of a game being played. Like I don't think this is
better job.
Another task that they need to
That,
add.
Dave.
They don't another task they don't need on their plate here.
they're now scheduling.
Dave,
5
I was saying, I think they made a better job lately. I think they've been
only
scheduling
because
games.
the other the other clubs in the league are out of Europe at this stage. Imagine if there were 4 or 5 teams still playing in European competitions, you'd be having schedules being released 7 to 10 days in
Yeah,
advance.
Jason Gaidola is saying Taça's run by the Portuguese league. When I
Absolutely.
say yeah, but that's what I mean. Whoever, whether it's the league, whoever's in charge should be making these
Yeah.
decisions regardless. Whether if you gotta
Yeah.
move some games back in the league, but this was a league game, so this has nothing to do with the Taça. But
Right.
whatever, the league themselves should be able to say which is a new no, he's a new president, right? The former referee's the new president of the federation.
Yeah.
He was the
Can't,
president of the league, now he's the
can't wait
president
for
of the
that.
federation.
Can't
Okay.
wait for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he did such a great job in front of the league, imagine the job that he will be doing in front of the federation.
Vamos ver, pá. Hey, they all voted for him.
Yeah.
Don't know how, but they all voted for him.
But anyway, turning our attention now to the Champions League. Benfica hosted Barcelona this Wednesday. As we record this earlier today, the game took place earlier today. Ruben was in goal, Araújo, Silva, Otamendi and Carreras across the back, Ausnes, Kokshu and Pereiros, Artur Koglu, Sheldrup on the wings, Pavlidis up top. Di Maria still hurt. Tino could not play. He was also hurt and unavailable. Who else is hurt? Ba, Manu, and who am I missing? The kid that got
Gouveia.
Thiago Gouveia.
Esse já não conta há tanto tempo that you forget about him.
Yeah.
But I heard he's close. He's
Yeah.
close to coming back, though. I heard he's like 2 weeks away.
That's what I read too. So a game that we anticipated being a lot different from the game that we played in January against Barcelona. As a matter of fact, Barcelona's been riding pretty high these past few weeks, and have beaten their opponents quite handily. We expected a hard game, but I think, as I mentioned here, I thought that Lage was going to prepare this game pretty well, and I thought that the team showed themselves at a very good level. Started well, had a couple opportunities inside the first 5 minutes, but you're playing against Barca. It's a different caliber. You got players there. They're world class. But yeah, I think the team was well prepared and they had their lesson well studied until the red card. Red card then changes everything, as it's customary that we've seen it all the time. Sometimes teams that play against 10 men don't necessarily play better or have the advantage on a game. I don't think that Benfica set up to play compact, to give the initiative to Barcelona and to attack on a counter. And then all of a sudden, Benfica sees themselves taking control of the game after the red card and being the ones with the possession and being the ones that go on the offense. So I think that there was a period there in the first half that the team was a little confused in terms of the positioning and where they needed to be and things that they needed to do in order to kind of offset this 10-man advantage. And I think they did it well. I thought it was a very entertaining half, a good half by Benfica. But again, efficiency in the first half. We could have well scored a goal in the first half. So could have Barcelona. But I think that after we got a man advantage, that we really should have taken advantage of that. And I think that we go into the locker room. We could have at least gone into the locker room, one up. Chesney with a very good night. He was actually voted the man of the match. Good night for him. Good performance for him. But I thought that Benfica wasn't their best, as we have been for a long time. League up top, have a natural born goal scorer, and I think the days of Cardozo and the days of Jonas, those days have been such a long time ago that I think that we got spoiled. Now we got guys that struggle to put the ball in the back of the net. But I thought it was an entertaining half. I thought that Benfica showed themselves well. I thought that after that performance in Munich, where we all felt that Benfica didn't play to their reputation and their historical importance in world football. I thought that we did well against Barcelona in a game that we expected to be defeated heavily. And I think that, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I wanted to hear Fiona's thoughts on the game, but I think we missed a great opportunity here to come away with an advantage, albeit maybe a narrow advantage, to take that into Camp Nou and kind of let it decide there. Chris,
I think the team had confidence coming into this game. I'm afraid I never expected Benfica to come into here and be brutally outplayed. Anything compared to that Bayern Munich game, that didn't even creep into my mind. To me, it was just a matter of how many goals are going to be scored on both sides today. I even joked with Hugo, it's going to be like a 7-5 game, because if the midfield played the same way that they played against Monaco, it would just be easy peasy for Barca to come right through the midfield. And it was at moments of the game, it was broken. The game was broken. There was a lot of holes everywhere. But Benfica, to go back to the beginning, Benfica came out of the gates running, man. I mean, I thought that chance by Artur Kuglu, and it was a fantastic save by Chesney. I thought that was in the back of the net. And then a few seconds later, a few minutes later, same thing with Pavlidis. And I think the best way to summarize this whole game to me is the difference in quality in the two teams. I think Benfica started off well, went to sleep for a little while, then got bailed out by the red card. And it was a red card. For anybody that tells me he touched the ball, you guys need to get your glasses fixed. You need to go
No.
watch that from different. He never touched the ball.
No way.
Clear red card. That's a red card. And then Benfica created chance after chance. And this is exactly why we need the Di Marias of this world on this team. Those guys get a half a chance and they bury it. The difference in today's game and the difference in the game against Barcelona in January, and the difference in the majority of these games is the quality of players. You don't have game changers. You don't have guys with the ability with the ball on their feet to change a game, to finish a game, to put the ball in the back of the net. You mentioned Pavlidis. Look, Pavlidis has grown on me. Needs to refine his touch a little bit there. It's a little bit uh too hard for me. I think it feels like at times got cement feet, but he's grown on me. But the rest of the players, I think Shaldrup, you can still tell, is an experience in a game like today. Artur Kuglu has the ball at his feet, and where at the beginning of the season, those were winding up in the back of the net, and now he's not putting them in the back of the net. Our midfield gave you nothing. I mean, Barredo's a nice little player, runs around, works hard, but
He
doesn't have
runs
the ability.
around.
Koksu gave up. I mean, that's why I think not. I think I know we were talking about it before, right, Dave? About my tweets. Koksu turned the ball. He's a turnover machine. Ausnes, again, really nice player, but doesn't have the ability with the ball at his feet around the box to change the game. And this is the difference between getting through in these stages of the Champions League and going home. And Benfica will have no one to blame but themselves. It is absolutely inexcusable. Inexcusable. I don't care who you're playing. If it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, I don't care. You're playing up a man at home for 70 plus minutes. In some way, somehow, you figure out a way to come out of this game with 26 shots on target. You figure out a way to come out of this game with a 1-0 loss. It is just either the most Mexties, the most missed chances, right? The most unqualified. I'm trying not to call a bunch of guys monkeys, right? But it's just a bunch of shit show, right? In terms of not being able to finish a game off, or it's the curse, of the Bella Goopman. It's gotta be one or the other, man. This team is just shit, or the curse of the Bella Goopman, because I don't know what we've done to deserve this. Benfica in the last 10 games at the start of the lose has one victory, which was that 4-0 victory against Atletico Madrid, has 3 draws and 6 losses at the start of the lose in the Champions League. and it's just not good enough. It's damn embarrassing. And you have no one to blame but yourself. And in particular, in a game like today, you could sit there and you could use the referee as an excuse in the previous game with Barcelona at home in a 5-4 loss or whatever the hell. Yeah, 5-4, right?
Yep.
With that should have been a penalty with Barreiro, and then it goes on the other side, yada yada. But today, you have no excuse.
No.
You got no one to blame but yourself. It was your inability to be able to bury this game because Benfica could have walked away from this game with a very comfortable lead going. And I'm talking about multi goals. And I know some of you are going to call me crazy, but if Benfica walked away with a 2-0 victory from this game going to Camp Nou, I would not be shocked because they did create enough chances to put the ball
Yep.
in the back of the net. And it's just their inability, their quality that couldn't make the difference. And this is why we need those types of players on this team. That's why players such as Di Maria and players such as Ronaldo to this day and Messi's of this world and Mbappe's and these guys, and I know Benfica's not gonna get that type of guy, but they'll get the Di Maria and they'll get these other guys that are playing at smaller teams throughout various leagues because these guys have the ability to bury a game and finish a game and get your team to advance into the next round. And it's just it's very disheartening
Yep.
to see this because I don't know what else Benfica could have done today
Yep.
to come away with a victory. I mean, they had everything go their way, with exception of a dumb decision by Antonio Silva. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. And then, in my opinion, the goalie's badly beaten. From that angle, from where that shot was taken, I understand it takes a deflection. I believe also on Antonio Silva, on his heel or whatever it was. But it
No,
wasn't.
Otamendi was
Was
Otamendi.
Otamendi? Okay. It wasn't a blast. It wasn't anything like that. It was relatively normal shot. And then on top of it, it had to be Rafinha. So I mean, when it pours, bro, when it rains, it pours, and it's just
Yeah.
it could go bad, it goes bad. But
Yeah. Look, Dave, I'll wait to hear your thoughts on the game, but I don't think they're too far from Cristiano's.
Yes, and I think the shots totals is a little bit deceiving because I don't know about you, but yes, we had the volume of shots and shots on target as well, but majority were right at Chesney. Either
straight at him.
Yeah.
they weren't really well placed into
Or-
The
any
best shot was
corners.
Renato, Dave.
Or weak.
And
Renato.
that one was just straight power. That one
Mhm.
really wasn't moving too much either. If you look at the replay, that one was just straight power where he has to kind of punch it out to clear it. But yeah, none of these shots really either had any power or had any well placement. So again, credit to Chesney. He had to do the job that he's paid to do, but a lot of these shots were right at him, and we really didn't have to make him work for it. But
Dave, leave it up to an Arsenal reject to shut us down. Think about that.
Hey,
Jesus.
fools.
but that's going Arsenal reject from about what 10
Who
10
cares?
years ago.
I don't care.
Once
It
an
still
Arsenal
happens.
reject, always an Arsenal
Yeah.
reject. No, but look, I share the same views as you guys. I think that we got handed an opportunity here, and regardless of what you think Benfica could have done at Camp Nou, you go to Camp Nou with a 2-up advantage, which wouldn't have surprised me if that's how this game finished. So were the chances that Benfica had throughout the game, not only in the first half but also the second half. You go to Camp Nou with a 2-0, you pull a maybe you pull a Mourinho, and maybe you could get it done. Who knows?
No, but even going to Camp Nou, Benfica has proven, and Barcelona's play, most importantly, has proven that you can score on them.
Yeah,
Right? And if they're up, even if they're up 1-0, forget 2-0. I just think that 2-0 could have, I mean, playing up 75 minutes, playing up a man, and with the amount of opportunities that Benfica created, I'm just saying 2-0 it was reasonable. Obviously, we go in the other way, 0-1, but it was reasonable. But even a 1-0 lead going into Camp Nou, now they got to come forward. They got to come get a goal. And as I've said, they're not very good defensively, and we've proved that we can score. Not today. I take that back, guys. Take that back. But we proved the last game that we could score. Today we proved that we could create chances. But I believe Di Maria might be around for the next game. Obviously,
know, man.
Carreras will not be available. Carreras picked up a yellow, so he has to miss the game. the next game at Camp Nou. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Dahl
which is a
back
week
there
from today, right?
or
Or is it
Arsons.
Tuesday?
I'm sorry.
Is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday, Dave?
Should be
It'll be
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Should
Yeah.
be Tuesday.
So it's this Tuesday coming up, basically, the 11th, I believe.
Yeah. And I think, and if Di Maria was a question mark for this game today, I think he'll probably be available. If Benfica needs him to be available, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Benfica is going to go, and they're not going to go to Camp Nou, Alfredo. They don't play the Camp Nou. They play
Oh,
Camp Nou is being
Montjuic.
whatever it's called. Yeah,
The
they play
Olympic Stadium there in
the Olympic
Barcelona.
Stadium in Barcelona. So Benfica is not going to go there and just put their arms down and say, okay, guys, we're down. We're not even going to try. I think Florentino might be back. I think Di Maria is going to try to play. And Benfica is still in this. They're still in this. As I've said, Barcelona is capable of beating you 7-0, and they're capable of losing to you as well. We've seen them do both.
And they're not going to
win
defend the
games.
result. They're not going to defend the result.
Probably
Barcelona.
not. Probably not, but they don't know how to, they're just going to come forward. That's what they
Yeah.
do. They come forward.
Yeah.
They leave plenty of gaps. And unfortunately, it's frustrating, man. It really is frustrating because you're not going to get a better opportunity than you had today.
No.
You played them twice at home, and you should have come away both times with victories.
Yep.
Whether it's your own goalie freaking hitting their midfielder in the head and the ball going in from outside the box, or Otamendi. I mean, not Otamendi. I'm sorry. Many people wish it was Otamendi, but it's not. Antonio Silva passing the ball, making the ball. Again, we're beating ourselves.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a guy that believes that the roster is very limited, that there's no playmakers on this team. It's a shit roster. But yet we're still in these games. But we figure out a way to shoot ourselves in the foot and give the opposition the 3 points or whatever it is, the $4 million for the win that they get.
Yeah.
And it's just incomprehensible to me, man, how we could squander so many chances in games like this. And we talk about the Braga game, and this is where I could tie this in because I didn't want to say it before. But, even Braga, we create chance after chance after chance, and we don't put these games away. And that's just something that we've done all season long. For the most part, I know we've scored some goals in some games, but for the most part, Benfica has struggled or not won games is due to their inability to score.
Yeah.
And that goes with our wingers, that goes with everybody. And it's not been a good year. Pavlidis has finally started putting the ball in the back of the net. He's grown on me a lot. Needs to work on some things, but that being said, it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
Artur Kuglu, I thought that was. I mean, dude, I was jumping up already.
Yeah, on the header.
No. The first shot, right?
First shot,
like 30 seconds in, whatever it was.
Even I think that Chesney had a great game. But I think that Benfica was gifted an opportunity here, and we just didn't take advantage. It's a shame. But look, I thought the team was at a good level, and if there's anything that you could take away from this game is that you played Barcelona, you played at a good level, you had the right intensity, you had the right attitude. Yes, there's some things that need to be sharpened up. I didn't think, as Cristiano mentioned, Kokshu didn't have a good game. I didn't think that Auschwitz had a good game. I think that this midfield with Tino, it looks different because Tino covers a lot of ground. He makes up for a lot of things, and it kind of releases some of the defensive responsibilities that these guys are going to have. I think that I don't know. I don't really rate Barreiro. Barreiro just runs around a lot. As Cristiano mentioned, he runs. He's a nice guy. He runs a lot. He runs around a lot. I think that Tino is much better.
I didn't say he's a nice guy. I don't know him personally. I'm just saying. And
he's a nice little player. That's what you said. He's a nice little player. And he runs a lot.
Yeah, he runs a lot. The guy is everywhere. He's either score a hat trick or do nothing. So he's only scored a hat trick in one game. So I don't know. Figure out what he did the other games.
Yeah.
But it's just you need guys. You need players that know what to do with the ball. You give Benfica. Look, I'll give you an example. And I'm tired of ripping this Band-Aid off, right? You just gotta let it sit there and let the Frida curar, right? But if João Neves was on this team, there's no way you lose both of these games. Absolutely no way. And that's all it takes is one player.
Yeah.
One player that knows what the hell he's doing with the ball. That's all it is. And it makes a huge difference. And as I said, you put Di Maria on this field today, guarantee you Benfica want to put up a goose egg.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. Sometimes it just takes a player to make a huge difference, and you have no playmaker. Koksu is supposed to be the playmaker. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, Koksu is the biggest acquisition, the biggest transfer, the biggest, most expensive player in the history of the Portuguese league. And the guy looks like he's out there moping around, not have. I don't know what. Listen, what's your problem? Go. You want to go, bro? I got a great idea for you, Mister Kosoku. Play well. Do what you got to do. Come out and score a hat trick at whatever. What do you call it? Mount Picho? What is it called? Where they gonna play?
Montjuic.
Mount whatever. Score a hat trick there. Let the whole world see you play well, and then at the end of the year, somebody will come and buy you, and you can leave Benfica. Okay, it's real simple. Do what you got to do instead of moping around, being all sad and shit, and turning the ball over every chance you get.
Chris,
Score a hat trick next game.
Chris, it's Ramadan. The guy's hungry, bro. He's
I was
upset
just
he hasn't been able to eat.
Beba agua, caralho.
He hasn't been able to eat, man. He
Beba
hasn't been able
agua.
to eat. He's miserable, dude. He's fucking miserable.
Yeah, okay. All right, he gets a pass. You're right. I'd be miserable. I don't eat for like
He
2
gets
hours.
a
My fat ass
pass.
gets miserable. So I could imagine not eating for a month.
No. Neves wasn't on the bench in Paris. He played.
He started today.
Jean Neves played in the middle with Vitinha and who's the other guy?
I didn't. Dude, I didn't. Man, everybody's calling me that, bro. I was so frustrated. I could give a shit. I care less, bro. I just care about Benfica. I don't care about.
Yeah.
I'll watch that later, I guess.
But again, as I mentioned, a wasted opportunity by Benfica that we could have made this a little bit more interesting. And as Cristiano mentioned, not that this is completely lost now. I think it's only one up advantage. And the way that we've played Barcelona and the way of creating chance, they're not a team that will shut you down defensively. They will score a lot of the goals that you will score. They will score more goals than you, and that's how they beat you. But they're not a team that are solid in the back and that could put games away defensively. They're not. So look, we go in there. I think, as I mentioned, you take away from this game that you could play at that level, regardless of whether you're playing at 10 or against 10 or against 11, and you go in there and you do your best. And you make sure that you honor the club's reputation. And you come out, and we'll see what happens at the end of 90 minutes. So that's the most important thing.
You know what would have helped us today a lot?
Di Maria?
You know what would have helped us today? Well, absolutely.
You know.
But besides him,
Who?
Bruma, new player that came in at the transfer window. Bruma would have been a great help today.
Wasn't signed.
But as we know,
yeah.
wasn't he available?
No, he's
Wasn't available because he's not registered to play in
Right.
this competition.
right.
You could only sign 3, and Benfica brought in 4 guys.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
But he would have helped. He would have definitely helped.
He would have helped.
Look,
yeah.
let's see. Let's be positive. Let's see what
Yeah.
what's gonna happen in second leg. I'm not down and out. You know what I mean? I'm not down for the count. I still think that there's a good possibility that Benfica could put a good game together and catch Barcelona napping. I mean,
Yeah. I
they're
agree.
going home. I get it, but
I agree. Ivan says, compared to Koksu, at least Barreto looks like he wants to be there. Agreed. Dave, stats.
Yeah, a stat here I just found regarding Benfica's inefficiency in their last 3 games. They've got 74. They've taken 74 shots, 23 or 28 on goal, and only 4 goals to show for from the last 3 games there. So very ineffective up front. The 26 shots taken today were the most by Benfica in this year's Champions League. 8th time that Benfica has lost the first home leg of a UEFA knockout tie, and history is not well on our side here. They've only managed to qualify once out of those previous 7 times here. And some other Champions League history: never has a team won away from home after being one less man for so long. as Barcelona was today. 69 plus minutes. Previous record was Juventus being down a man for 62 minutes and coming out with a victory against Valencia.
Dave,
Wasn't Chelsea down a player for like forever against this Barcelona? I thought years
Dave,
ago.
And did they pull out a draw or did they pull out
I don't
a
remember. Yeah,
victory?
that's a good question. That's a good
Dave.
question. I
I
don't.
mean, we're
Oh no, it
fucking
was Inter. It was Inter. I think it was Inter. I don't even think
we're
it was Chelsea. It was
we're
Inter.
we're
So
miserable enough. You have to bring up that stat, Dave, for this.
We're making history.
We're always making. That's what Benfica does. They make history. We make history, man. That's why 400,000 sócios, and now whatever. Anyway, turning turning our attention now to domestic play. Benfica will play Nacional this upcoming Saturday at Estádio Luz, 1 p.m. local. Dave, what's Nacional up to?
Nacional are currently in 12th with 26 points from 7 wins, 5 draws, 5 defeats. Their form coming into this match, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats in their last 5. Historically, we've got 28 wins, 7 draws, 4 defeats against them. Recent history, 9 wins, 1 draw, all favorable, and we've beat Nacional 2-0 away in Madeira. That was that fog delayed match where we had to replay it in December there, but Di Maria picking up both those goals there in December.
Cristiano, any concern on Champions League hangover for this Nacional game? Or you think he's just rotating because there's different guys will do well?
Man, I don't know, Alfredo. I don't know. I think the team is obviously gonna come down from that high, right? But no, hopefully Bruno Lage has got these guys concentrated, right? The Campeonato is still very well reachable.
Yeah.
I mean, Benfica needs to win. They're 3 points behind for the game less. But Benfica could still very well win the Campeonato. They could still win the Taça Portugal after having won the Taça da Liga. Still got a lot to play for, and hopefully he's telling the guys that, and the guys are still motivated. And as we said before, look, Champions League is Champions League, but they're still in it. So players' spirits still got to be high. Going back to Barcelona down 1-0 is not what you want to do. You'd rather be up 1-0, but you know what? You're still very well in this game. Player spirits is going to be high. But I do think he's going to rotate some guys. He's shown over the last couple of weeks he's been rotating. Nacional, I know Dave probably said the stats. I don't know. I wasn't probably paying attention. I don't know how they've been doing lately, but there should be enough rotation and guys that could get the result from Benfica. Have rest some key guys as well. I bet you Carreras will play because he can't play the following game against Barcelona.
Or you will play Dal to give him reps in that position. I don't.
Yeah, and then he gets hurt.
Yeah, true that. Good call.
Okay.
Good call.
I'm just
That's
saying.
what we got Freddie there for.
Freddie, do it all.
I mean, if Tino comes back, yeah, but Freddie might have to play on the right because we saw Yago Araújo get substituted again today. So we don't know.
This match has Bruma written all over it. Get him some run.
Yes, Brumo definitely play.
I wouldn't
Belotti
mind
play.
seeing Belotti up front instead of Pavlidis in this game. I like what I'm seeing between Belotti and Bruma there. They got some sort of chemistry going there. So those two, I think, will get the nod up front there. But yeah, good game for some squad rotation where we have the ability to do it. I wouldn't rush back Di Maria or Florentino in this game.
No.
If they're questionable, let's hold them off and see if we're able to get them a
Yeah.
little bit more healthy for the Barcelona game. I wouldn't risk it against Nacional here.
Yeah, we need to remain consistent. I think that you need to get to the penultimate game of the season. I know that's still a little bit away, which is against Sporting, and that's the title game. As long as you have still within reach and within your control, I think that you need to do that. But yeah, still a lot to play. Still. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But another tricky game. But I think that that Lage rotates the squad as he has been rotating, and I think we'll come out victorious. What else you guys have?
I'm counting down the seconds till Panda Media comes in.
There's still
Pama,
got
not Panda.
Oh, Pama.
another.
That's close.
You got another 10 minutes for Pama Media, so you got plenty of time. Chris.
Hey.
So if
All right,
you
read the comments. Read the comments. Ivan's trying to start trouble, so we'll ignore that one. Next question.
This game is in
says-
Lisbon anyway, so
That's
we don't
right,
have to worry
Ivan.
about
Okay.
the,
but
the
that's it's a
drainage.
general question, Dave. Does Madeira have better drainage than Azores?
They might have better drainage,
But the fog
but
sucks.
the fog fucks it up for them. So pick your poison.
Right.
Great. Now we're gonna get Madeira Island. We're not gonna be welcome. I mean, you guys need to stop.
We're not gonna be welcome anywhere, dude.
I didn't say anything. I don't know nothing.
What else we got here? Josh Almeida says, "Kick us while we're down, Dave. Thanks." And Ivan
Chico says today we show the lack of class when it comes to Finn. Of course.
"Yeah."
Estamos fartos de Chico.
Well,
I
I don't know if it's a lack of class. I think it's a lack of skill.
That's what he means when he says class. He doesn't call class as in the actual sense of the word class. But, no há class, bro. No tem classe. Aquele gajo não tem classe para marcar goals. That's what he means.
Yeah, Josh is saying that this podcast is just for people from the continent.
Hey, no.
We don't
Well,
discriminate, Josh. I didn't say it. You said it. I know you're from the Azores Islands also, Josh. Don't fuck around. Don't mess around.
I
Josh.
love the Azores Islands so much. I'm watching Rabo do Peixe.
Up the fish.
I
That's
didn't
not what it's
start.
called,
I'm serious.
bro.
I really want to. Is there a series in Madeira? No, probably some Ronaldo related, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing they have over there.
Jason Gaidola says Benfica lacks backbone and mental fortitude. Benfica lacks a
Speak
lot
louder
of things.
for the back, Jason.
Yeah, Benfica lacks a lot of things. Kenu and I were talking about before we came live, in terms of, I was telling Cristiano that when you look at the talent that we have is not much different than Porto and Sporting in terms of guys that can make a difference. No, but give me a second. I know where I'm going with.
I'm reading something else.
In terms of, guys that can make a difference in a Champions League, we don't have a lot of them, and the majority of the team is right around what Porto and Sporting have, right? The difference is that we've spent, and Cristiano made this point, the difference is we've spent a shitload of money, and all we've brought was scrubs, as opposed to what Porto and Sporting have spent on. So that's the difference. So for the money that we've spent, we should have been better equipped, I should say. Chico Marcelino says that red card.
But still going down this stretch here, and we've seen it. We're coming down with injuries. Sporting's also got the injury bug taken, so it's gonna come down to depth of squad to really see who gets over the finish line here in first, because I'm seeing these Sporting lineups that they're playing, and they got.
But Dave, the point I was making, that there shouldn't be no comparison.
1,000%.
With the money that Benfica spent, there should be absolutely no doubt who's got a better roster.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that Benfica's inability to make the Jurassics of this world, the Cabrals of this world, to make these type and Koksus, right? Artur Kuglus, to make these guys, be worth what we all thought they were, or like the right player evaluation, right? To make the right acquisition. Had we hit on those guys, like we've hit on the 4 winter transfer guys, this wouldn't even be a question. And that's been my point to Alfredo when he says that Benfica, Porto, and Sporting are all at the same level. And while I do agree, I also point out that the only reason why that is not choice. There's no choice. I don't think they said, let's buy this guy for this guy.
By incompetence.
I think by incompetence. Very well.
Yeah.
It's by incompetence, because it shouldn't even be a question. So while you're right, Dave, agree with you 1,000%, brother. There's injuries coming down, in particular to both teams, and they're both having to go back and playing. There's one Regals of this world, right? And playing youngsters, where they probably otherwise wouldn't have played if everybody was healthy. But it shouldn't even come down to this because you're looking at players such as Cabral, who is third wheel on this team, and it should never be like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna read Chiku's comments and then we'll get out of here. And Chiku, I think I mentioned this up got in. That red card fucked Laj's whole plan that he trained for the whole week. As soon as Barca dropped deep, we were screwed. All we had was Barca high line to explore. After that was gone, so was the danger. And he also says Koksu is too average, way overpriced.
yeah, but we still Benfica still created chances.
Yeah, no, we created chances.
While there's some truth in what he's saying, Benfica still had plenty of opportunities.
But I think there was some adjustments made in the second half because of that.
But even in the first half, in the last 15 minutes, Benfica created plenty of opportunities. It's just our inability, or like Freddie in the chat here says, lack of class. That was the difference in the game.
Yep. Anyway, let's get out of here. Thank you for checking us out. As always, we'll be back next week. We'll be back next week on Tuesday since Benfica plays Barcelona, second leg on Tuesday. Recap the Nacional game, recap the Barcelona game, and look ahead to what we have. Thanks. What we have next. I don't know what we have next. Trying to figure out. I had to look up. Forget what.
Riwav after Barcelona.
Oh yeah, Riwav. Perfect. Sounds like a great game.
No way.
Take care, everyone. Chris, Dave, always a pleasure.